Hey guys, so in the previous video we saw that Charles Messier had discovered a nebula by mistake and he named the nebula M1. This is what we'll talk about in this video. It's a very interesting place and a very beautiful one. In the year 1731, John Bevish had discovered this nebula. A few years later, in the year of 1758, Charles Messier independently had discovered this nebula as well. So this was about the discovery of the nebula. But its particular name, the M1, is actually famously called the Crab Nebula or SN 1054. Each of this name has a story behind it. So it's famously called the Crab Nebula because in the year 1844, while Lord Rosse was looking through his telescope, he saw this nebula and drew a picture which looked like this and described it as a crab, and hence the name just stuck with it. And so today also it's called the Crab Nebula. As astronomers throughout the decades have made repeated observation of this object, it seems to expand. Here is a collection of photos taken over a decade, starting from 2009 2017. Here you can clearly see the expansion of this nebula. The nebula is still expanding outwards at a rate of 1,000 kilometers per second, and it actually spreads across 10 light years. That's how enormous this nebula is. And this nebula is actually a supernova remnant. That means a star died and the gases from it are now expanding into the space around it. When you trace back this expansion of the nebula, scientists had found that it goes back 900 years. And if you look back in the history books of the different cultures, you can actually see and pinpoint an event when the Chinese, Japanese and other astronomers around the world had seen a new star arrive, a guest star in their night sky, which was very bright. It was the brightest thing in the night sky, except for the moon, for over a year, and then it dimmed. So according to the records, it was in the year 154, and as we talked about, the name SN 1054 comes from that. So this supernova left behind a core of the star. If we look at the X-ray images of this nebula, you can see a pulsar inside this beautiful nebula. If you want to observe this nebula through a telescope, it's in the constellation of Taurus again. I'll show you the location in the app. It's very hard to see it through a small telescope because it will look like a fuzzy patch. Only if you have experience of the overnight stargazing sessions, you will be able to find it. Anyways, I hope you like this video. Please do like, share, subscribe and all the other stuff. I hope to see you next Thursday with an even better video. And as always, stay curious, stay awesome.